Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian at Whisper Status 74. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you're seeing me, please consider liking and subscribing. This will be an HDR game settings video for the Sony X950H 2020 full array local dimming flagship 4K display for Sony this year. I have a lot of requests for settings videos. I typically don't do them, as I believe settings should be your own, and they're not calibration videos. I'm not a calibrator. In order to be calibrating, you need some kind of equipment hooked up to your display. But I will show you what I prefer myself for gaming on this display. And then you can take what you like from it. You can add, you can take away. Myself, I don't need the most natural image. I typically like the image to pop, so some of these settings will be pretty default. HDR is easy simply because the display typically has certain things to max, namely backlight, extended dynamic range, and gamma. Not at max, but at its default setting. We'll be looking at Horizon Zero Dawn for this game, or for this video. It will be filmed in HDR. We'll run through the settings very quickly. Special thank you to Robert and Wendy Zahn of Scarsdale, New York, Value Electronics, for allowing me to use the Sony X950H. Please look in the description below for the website to their amazing store in Scarsdale, New York. They are shipping nationwide right now. Very kind of them to lend us this display. We've had it for a while now, and we will be having it for a little while longer. So here we are. Very beginning of the game, because I haven't gotten very far in this game. This game is absolutely gorgeous on the PS4 Pro. Horizon Zero Dawn. You can short key your picture settings. You have your picture mode here. We're in game mode. I think, for me, Sony's best advantage in regards to gaming is their motion, their pixel response, and their game mode being gorgeous without changing it at all. So what I like about that, other companies either disable their local dimming or alter the image altogether to make the input lag as low as possible. The input lag here is 18 to 19 milliseconds, I believe. Not the lowest in the business, but plenty low for what we're doing. Hardcore gamers can enjoy it as well. I game on multiplayer games on line here as well. It's totally fine. And I'm less about hardcore gaming. You just enjoy it. We're all gaming. You can play, again, multiplayer with this, no problem. So here we are, game mode. Best advantage, again, Sony, is their game modes are gorgeous. Other displays cripple their game mode in favor of latency and input lag. Brightness, we're going to see us at max. I have my contrast at 95. Gamma, I do not ever alter when I'm in HDR. I do feel personally it takes me out of HDR, though the indicator stays on in the corner. Black level, which is brightness for Sony, so important to know the differences in these terms. Vizio, everything with their Quantum XP series was totally different when it came to their backlight and their brightness. So I keep it at 50. The SDR game settings video will be far different. Black adjust, I do like black adjust on. Some people believe it adds too much black crush. I do like how it defines the image. I have had no black crush or any problems with it. I tend to also not see it make a huge difference in HDR, but I do like to leave that on. It's not a huge impact maker. None of these settings add lag because we are in game mode. Advanced contrast enhancer. I do enable this with very high quality content. If the game looks great, or it's native 4K, or it's very clean, I do feel you can use this if it doesn't add any aliasing or noise to the image. This game is of very high quality. You could enable it if you like. The newer Sony models don't let you cycle through. You have to go back through. But for a game like this, I would either be at low or off. But if you look at the grass where she is, you know, it can be a noisy image if you add too much of the advanced contrast enhancer. Something like Ratchet and Clank, you can add it and you will see a nice pop to it. But for me, I would keep this either at low or off. Today I'll keep it at low. These settings can also be used for the Sony X950G if you like, or the Z9F, even the 900F, 900E. Some of the wording's different, but definitely for the X950G. Auto local dimming, auto local dimming. Local dimming I always keep on high. It is very important to me not just to have the speed of the image, but the black level to be there. I don't want to see any haloing. I don't want to see any clouding. I want the colors to pop. So if you tell me I can have a faster image, better response time, better input lag in favor of picture quality, I would never make that sacrifice. Maybe some multiplayer, but this display is plenty fast. We'll have more conversations about that with HDMI 2.1, which this display doesn't have, but if you are okay with 4K 60, it's a winner, no doubt. Auto local dimming for me is always going to be on high. You can reduce it. It does take some of the brightness away. It does appear that way, but if you were to look on a black screen, you might see some cloudiness taking away the local dimming. So I always keep it on high. Some places like Artings prefer it on medium. I guess they think it's too aggressive. I have no problems with it. Extended dynamic range. This is a setting that I do tend to turn off in the SDR. We'll cover that in our SDR video. For HDR, it should be left to on. It will automatically enable itself. I don't recommend turning these features off if you're in HDR. And that's the only issue with HDR settings, even in movies, is it does take away a little bit of our flexibility. There is no wrong, we do have to keep that in mind. But if you want to remain in HDR, as far as I'm concerned with the way I use my panels, I do like to leave those certain settings on the max that they jump to once HDR is enabled. Color. Color is at 55. You can adjust the color in regards to Sony as saturation. You can take this all the way up and it'll definitely change the saturation. Colors will bleed, as you can see. I like to keep it down to its default. Again, if you have a game with very colorful image, or a game that's a little bit drab, you can make this as colorful as you'd like. Another advantage that it had over other displays where the saturation immediately made the colors bleed. I don't mess with the hue at all. I leave that at its default. One thing I do differ with many people is Expert 2, Expert 1, while they are accurate, the most accurate, to me they're a little bit too warm. I do like to be at neutral. I like my color to be a little more cool. Sony runs a little blue with their colors in cool, though I do like that image. To me, it's just a more crisp image. I'll stay at neutral. I do like warm. Expert 1 and 2, again, more accurate. I do like those for movies. So we'll stay at neutral for that. Live color. Some people love this, some people hate it. I will tell you, I absolutely love it with HDR enabled. It doesn't always make a huge difference, but it gives it a little bit of pop. What's interesting to me is I noticed even with the 900E that high is not as bright as medium. So I tend to stay at medium. Probably a little better to show you that way. So you have it off. Low, you don't see much. It does pump it up at medium. And high is a little bit less bright. But for me, it's medium. Clarity, these are settings a lot of you guys love. I keep sharpness at 50, which is its default. Reality creation, I do not use, even though it's on here. So what I do is I go into manual. You can turn this up. It will at times clean up lower quality images or upscaling. I typically don't like the way it looks. It adds a little too much noise to the image for me. I very seldomly use it. On higher quality, it adds a little bit of sharpness, but it does add aliasing at the same time. For me, it's best to leave it off, but play with it all you like. Some people love it. I just don't, as much as I like an image that pops, I don't want to mess with that image and make it look too noisy. I want it to be as clean as possible. Smooth gradation. Some people love this for films. I do not like it for games because it looks like dirty screen effect. If it just adds some motion. It appears to smooth things out, but it does add some horizontal lines that I do not like. And motion is disabled for gaming. And that's really it, guys. That is my HDR settings for the Sony X950H, as I am into the menu there. It's a gorgeous image. And the best part about Sony, like I said, is their game mode is beautiful out of the box. And those are the little bit of additions I like to add. I don't mess with the color system as far as the point system. but it is a beautiful image. You should be seeing this in HDR as well. These settings will work for the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One X, and the PC. Nothing revolutionary, but that's just the way that I play with them. You have the mixture of both natural and vibrant. Alright guys, I hope everybody is doing well. Please consider liking and subscribing. Special thank you to Value Electronics, Sony X950H, HDR game settings, not calibration settings, just the settings that I run with when I play. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope everybody is doing amazing. Take care.